Good morning. Looks like it's been sprinkling. Maybe not. Not sure. Hey Siri, start a walk. Well, Siri, you working on that? Yeah. Trouble with the connection to what? Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Start a walk. Motherfucker. Start a walk. Connected to the Wi-Fi, I don't know why.
Starting your workout in workout.
So dumb. Technology is so dumb. Ay. Alrighty. So, good morning. 1 minute and 30 seconds in, let's do the introduction. So, this is a series we're called Walking Around the Rivers of Life. I do this every day. It's my vlog series. I do it first thing in the morning, so I am just now waking up. The series is not philosophical, it's literally walking around the Rivers of Life Church. So, yeah. And, yeah, that's the spill. Today is Sunday, 29th? No, that's wrong. Oh, fiddle for it. 27th. Sunday, February the 27th, 2022. Today is Sunday, so that means it is book review day. You know, I probably should bump up the actual reviews to Saturday so you can view the book review on Sunday. If I was a smart person, I might do it that way. I don't know. It seems like Sunday is a better day for book reviews. So I might have to do that. Yeah. So So today is another book review, and today's book is, as alluded to in an earlier video, is The Stranger by Albert Camus. Where did I get Sean from? It was. The book was originally in French, apparently. So this thing has been translated, and it won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1957. So, hoity-toity book. Yeah. So, what do I think about the book? First of all, I have the paperback, and it's a short read. It's how many pages? Give me page numbers here. It's probably less than 130 pages. 125, 130 pages. Very short read. The book is, like I said, it's paperback. Pretty decent flexible book or whatever. It seems decent enough. That version that I have. I don't know which version do I have. This is Vintage, published by Vintage Books. Yeah. So it's a fiction book. Yeah. It's a nice enough book. I have no problems with the quality of the physical book itself. And the book, as far as the content, it's not bad. So a little bit of backstory for especially those who didn't see my previous rant on the topic. This book is actually one of the books that came from the the back queue, I guess, from my college days. So there were a bunch of books that were in my bookshelf that came from college. My English comp and creative writing or something or other. Basically accumulated some literature books that were assigned reading at some point in college that I never really got around to doing. And I figured, hey, I never really liked much of the reading that we were assigned in English, but I was like, okay, I'm an older gentleman now. Maybe I will appreciate these books now. So this is one of the books. I saw it. So sometimes I'll read. I'll watch like book reviews on YouTube, and it's like top 10 classic literature, easy reads, or whatever, you know. And this came up. It didn't come up frequently, but it did come up occasionally. So I was like, okay, out of all of the books I have, this is the only one that ever came up on anybody's list. So let's put it to the top of the pile. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the best case that my English comp classes could have could make for themselves. What was it, 10 or 15 years down the road? We're trying to let them redeem themselves, but so I guess the critical question is did the English comp, did this book and the English composition teachers, course instructors, or whatever, redeem themselves? And the answer is, of course they didn't. It's not a bad book. It's not a bad book, but I don't know that anybody should read this book outside of literary circles. I'm sure this book was groundbreaking in many ways and everything, but for a recreational reader, I would not recommend the book. It's an easy read. Like I said, it's a short read. It's easy read. It is a translation, so you have to assume that some things are not translated very well. But it's easy enough to read. The story was Okay, so we're kind of getting into spoiler territory here. So if you don't want the book spoiled, it's a decent book. It's not amazing. This is the non-spoilery review section right here. It's a decent book. it's not terrible. It's not a bad book, but it's just not compelling in any way to me for a modern reader. And this is quote unquote modern book because, like it says, this is like written in the 1950s or something. So it's got modern prose and everything, and modern sensibilities and something like that. So it's not like Beowulf or something like that. But I don't think it's not an enjoyable read, put it that way. It's not a fun read. And what you'll find when you get into it is this is a philosophy book, really. It's a philosophy book masquerading as a short story. And the philosophy is not particularly compelling, nor is the short story. At least to me it isn't. So yeah, that's my book. You do worse to read the book, but I if you given all the options out there, I don't know why anybody would choose to read this book, unless they've been duped, like I have been. So, all right, yeah. Getting into spoilery territory, the book, like I said, is a philosophy book, and it's, I'm going to use the wrong terms for things here, guys, especially Mr. Internet peeps. I'm not a philosophy or literature or, I don't know. I studied, I did the basics of English literature or whatever in college, and I did a survey course in philosophy. So forgive me if I get some of these terms wrong, which I most certainly will. But this book is like an angsty teenager. I've said this before. This is like angsty, nothing matters, blah, 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 teenager material. Thing is, it's not a young adult book or whatever YA book. So it doesn't fit. And put it this way, and it's surreal. Like when I was reading the book, I was reading the story. The whole time I'm going through the story, I think that this is a dream of some sort, because everything is surreal. It's not, it has nothing that rings true of reality. The characters are all caricatures. Like there's a romance that goes on in the book, and the romance progresses very much in a fictitious fashion. Like the girlfriend is infatuated with the guy, and there is no reason to be infatuated with the guy, like none whatsoever, unless the dude just like looks amazing, and they're just not telling us that. But the dude has like no personality. Again, this is all on purpose. This is part of the book, is that the protagonist is basically I don't know, a nihilist, this is too early in the morning, existentialist. Can't say the word anymore. Yeah, the world nothing in this life matters, blah, 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 blah. You know, that kind of philosophy, the fatalist kind of philosophy, that, I don't know, of like, it would appeal to me, like, in my teenager years, or maybe my early 20s. But as an adult now, reading it, I've become kind of like, something about it just, it comes across as really cheesy and hollow to me. Like, if this is an attempt to like demonstrate this philosophy or whatever, it doesn't demonstrate this philosophy in anything other than like a caricature. I don't know, I guess you would say. It comes across as a joke. Like I said, I read through the book, and the whole time I'm going through the book, I think that this is a dream sequence. But no, turns out, no, this is not a dream that's going on. This is the actual story, as the author intends the reader to take it as. And then everything is real, and everything that happens in the book was real. It's like, I made it literally to the end of the book, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay, so it was a dream after all. But I was later on watching, because I wanted to say, okay, I know how I think, let's see how other people think. And I went and read it, and there's a lot of people, they love this freaking book for some reason, and even older people love this book for some reason. But they started saying, okay, well then he died at the end of the book. I'm like, he didn't die, he woke up from the dream at the end of the book. And then I went back and read it, and yeah, like I skipped like one sentence or something I was reading, and completely changed the meaning of the whole book, whole ending of the book. So I don't know, if you really want like a better version of the book, just think that at the end he wakes up from his dream, and then suddenly the book makes sense. And it's not that the book doesn't have a quote unquote happy ending, and I wouldn't be upset that the book has an unhappy ending. It's just that I just didn't like the portrayal of the book. I like the portrayal of the book, my headcanon of the book, that this was a dream sequence more than this is reality. I felt like that was my idea of how I was reading, how I understood the book was better than the ultimate result was when I found out it wasn't actually a dream sequence. So yeah, it's just, yeah. So the book is about a dude that really has no goddamn personality, except for, I don't care about anything. Nothing matters, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, angsty teenager. But he's not an angsty teenager. He's presumably an adult. And he's doing adult things in the book. So I don't understand. So he's going through, and he's like, nothing matters, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. There's a funeral, my mother died. We go to the funeral, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, she died. And oh, I don't really care to even see her in the coffin. Oh, I don't care if I drink or smoke at her funeral or her wake or whatever. Oh, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're back home, like suddenly, and then nothing like it. Oh, I meet this girl. Oh, she says she loves me. Does she want me to marry her? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I don't care. And like the whole time that you're going through, he's just a kind of like caricature of a nihilist or whatever, you know, somebody who's like, oh, I don't care what, you know. And maybe it was because I was so much that person. Like when I was in high school, like I would always pretend that I didn't care what happened or this or that. Maybe that's triggering some kind of disgust in me that like I don't want to see or whatever. But for me, it just, that one note character. And here's the thing, I see people saying like, and the characters are so vivid and vibrant. I'm like, no, everybody is just a very rough drawn caricature. Like the girlfriend is just like fawning over this dude. She has no, and there's no reason for her to be fawning over him. None that's like presented in the book. And his friend that he meets, whatever, that ends up that has the girlfriend that he beats up or whatever, and then causes like the conflict in the book. Like he makes friends with this dude, and this dude he makes friends with, he's probably the most real character in the book. At least, you know, he's like, oh, okay, so this is the dude who beats women or whatever, or he's some kind of criminal or something. But that's about as far as it goes, you know. It's like you have like half a dozen characters in here, but they're all just very rough drawn sketches. Mind you, for 120, 130 pages, that's fine, right? That they are. But I'm seeing reviews of people saying that these characters are really rich and everything, and I'm like, well, they're not. They don't even have time to be richly drawn. And I wouldn't say he does a particularly good good job of sketching them in 120 20 pages for what time he does have. It was like, it's the barest caricature of the thing, and then everything is about the plot and getting the character to say, I don't care, nothing matters, you know, in not so many words, over and over and over again in the book. As many times as he can get, as the author can get him to say that. Put him in situations where he's supposed to respond, but no, he's too cool a cat. He's too cool of an existentialist that he's not going to respond the way normies respond. Blah 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 blah. He's too detached from that reality. He's beyond us on another plane. But I'm really ragging on the book like it's awful. It's not a bad book. It's just not a good book by today's modern standards. I can, like I said in an earlier video, I can get why it's recommended. I can get that it has some maybe in the places of literature that this was like something groundbreaking whenever it came out. I highly doubt it. I think existentialism already existed before then, right? Nihilism and stuff like that, it already existed. I can't imagine that the author was breaking new ground in this philosophy or anything. So I don't know, maybe there was no teenage angst novels yet, and this was the first ever young adult novel. I don't know. It's just, but I see the glowing praise for this book, and I don't see it as justified, and I continue to hold my view that practically all the reading assignments that USM's English composition classes assigned to me. I think it was the 201 class assigned to me was complete and utter bullshit. Waste of time. So yeah, would I recommend the book? Obviously, if you made it this far, you know the answer, and the answer is no. I would not recommend The Stranger. I would not recommend reading The Stranger unless you have to read it. It's an easy read if you do have to just trudge through it. You can do it, in a few hours. It's just, I don't know, if you I've been really shitting on this book and trying to figure out what its redeeming qualities are, but I did not enjoy the book, not for like any moment. And it's not because it was an unsatisfying. I did not enjoy reading the book at any point when I was reading the book. The story it's not interesting. The characters are not interesting. The conflict is not interesting. The resolution is not interesting. The world that it's set in is not interesting. There is nothing interesting in this book except, quote unquote, the philosophy aspect of this book. And the philosophy that the book revolves around is not interesting. And I'm not so arrogant as to think, oh yeah, I know better. The fact that I have such a strong reaction to this book really bothers me, because I see people saying, yeah, this is a great book, and I just do not get it. I don't understand why people like this book. I think it's like some kind of English lit. The only thing I can assume, and you should never assume the worst, but the only thing that I can assume is that this is like a Ulysses thing, where there's some context around this book that makes people praise it, but the book itself is actually not that great. I just do not understand. I don't even understand why this book won the Nobel Prize in 1957 or whatever. Like, I do not understand. I've read far better trashy books than this. And so this is a modern book. It's not like this is me trashing on a book that's clearly, that's 200 years old or whatever, and all of the, it's just a hard, difficult read or anything. It's just, this is a fairly modern book with fairly modern conventions. Like I said, it's an easy read, but it's just, I don't want to be the contrarian, but I don't understand how anyone likes this book. All right. We're going to end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. It's probably coming up on Monday when you'll watch this tomorrow. So, hope you guys have a good day and a good week, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.